This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Show. You know, I told you a couple of weeks ago about what's going to happen, and if you have that Greg Hardy cut, please, what's going to happen in sports now because of the coronavirus. And one of the things that I told you is we're going to be able to actually hear what's going on the court. The coaches, we're going to be able to hear them call plays. We're going to hear the players dribbling down court, calling the offense. In the NFL, I told you, we're going to hear players talking trash. Seriously. Because there's nobody in the stands. So now the mics are going to pick up all the sound. Coaches on the sidelines. And this weekend at UFC 249, we had a little taste of that. Greg Hardy, not the most likable individual in the world, not a person that most of us root for because of obviously his disgusting past with women. Definitely a guy that I root against. There's no doubt in my mind. But Hardy had an interesting soundbite after his victory on Saturday night. I want you to listen to what Hardy was experiencing in the middle of the fight.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Greg Hardy. Greg, you made some adjustments, some big adjustments. Seems like early on in the fight, he was catching you with a lot of those heavy leg kicks. How much did that affect your movement?
Big time, man. You know, and thank God for not having the crowd. Shout out to DC. I heard him tell me to check. I need to figure out how to check it. So I started trying to check him, and game changer.
You have had a wild ride. In 2 years, you've gone from a guy who has his first MMA fight to a guy who's fighting guys like Volkov, who's a world champion in other divisions. What has this been like for you, and how do you feel about this victory?
Like going to Disney World, man. It's been a roller coaster like none other, baby. Only next appropriate stop is the Joe Rogan Show.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Look forward to seeing you again. Greg Hardy, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Smoke some weed on that Joe Rogan show. Anyway, now, you heard him in that first half of the soundbite talk about how he heard the announcer talk about, you know, the adjustment that he had to make. And by the way, the one thing that I will say is how his opponent stopped kicking was beyond me because it looked like it was bothering the crap out of him when he was kicking his leg on a consistent basis. But Hardy, if there was a crowd, he would not be able to hear the people critiquing him as the announcers, saying what he had to do or not had to do, or his corner. So he was able to hear the color guy, you know, say, well, no, Greg needs to do this. And so now fighters in the middle of a fight are going to be able to hear the announcers. And they're going to be able to hear what they're saying, which is unheard of. A boxer, a fighter, they never hear the announcers, ever. Now you're going to hear them all the time. In football, you may not because they're in a booth and it's probably enclosed, and they probably will keep it closed, actually, so they don't hear them and they can actually talk. And if they want, you know, gnat sound from the field or whatever, they'll have a mic outside that they can pot in through the broadcast, and it's not a big deal. But they won't have the window open or anything like that because then they'll be able to hear the announcers. So in football, you're going to get away with it. In basketball, you will not be able to get away with it. In basketball, the announcers are going to be heard. You know what's going to be interesting? Will any of the announcers be critical? Not the home announcers, because home announcers are never critical of their own players. They can't be. I mean, they work for the team. Who the hell rips their own team when they're getting paid by the team? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So that's not going to happen. But the national broadcasts, how are they going to handle, you know, being critical of a coach or a player? And this weekend you saw the example with Greg Hardy. This is going to be a game changer. Exactly what Greg Hardy called it, a game changer. Because now they're actually going, if they're smart, they're using that advice as a positive, or they're using that constructive criticism as a positive.